Meet the players.
Here to officially trawl through the archives and find the hidden remains of ADW. I like it. 95, Philippines. The Great Nomads was there. Was I there with ADW though? No, I wasn't. Next. Oh, it all looks like a past history of the squadron. Did the Wilson ever turn out for ADW? This is a myth.
Richard Broughton, Utility.
Hong Kong 1989 to 1992. So I was more of a drinking supporter of ADW than a playing supporter, than a playing member. I played in Manila in 1991. I think that was my only game. But I do still have a copy of the souvenir brochure which Mr. Mellors gave us for that trip.
Now, Richard was another HSBC guy, but unlike the others, wasn't really much of a footballer. I think he would admit that.
I think so. I think, any team with him and Carl Steiner in it, which we did have at the time, about sums up where we were.
But he did drink a lot, and he was quite funny at the time.
He was quite amusing, very posh, but still one of the lads.
And of course, he had a girlfriend that we all wanted to do, really.
What, the one in the cupboard?
He did have a girlfriend in the cupboard, but I was actually thinking about the one he married.
Oh, the one he married, Alison. Oh, she was lovely. Yeah. She
Yeah.
still is.
Yeah. One in the cupboard. Forgot about that.
Carl Steiner, Utility.
Hi, hello everyone. This is Carl Steiner. You basically probably remember me as the one that did not play for Atletico de One-Try. I don't think I ever actually even played a match before. However, I'm sitting right here in my beautiful backyard on my deck here in lovely New Jersey, USA that is. And my memories of Atletico de One-Try was, I remember it was back in the late 80s, early 90s when Paisley fashion was in. And I was wearing a nice little Paisley shirt that I got somewhere in Carnaby Street in London one time, and I was wearing it, I think, at Joe Bananas. And this lad came up to me. He was one of the players. I honestly cannot remember his name, but he said that, you know what, since you're not playing, you could probably be the mascot. So therefore, I am the designated mascot of Atletico de One-Try. And I remain so. If anyone can challenge me otherwise, if there was another mascot, please let me know. Otherwise, from the mascot, Carl, that is, to everyone, welcome.
Carl can't remember this, but he did play at Boundary Street one day with Richard.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he did. He played the first half.
So what did we have? Like Midland, Carl Steiner and Richard in
I think we had an injury crisis that day. I don't think it wasn't a legal league yet. But I do remember that day because I think the Bear made his debut for us.
The Bear.
Rob Dara, Utility.
I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it.
Carl Mesham, Goalie and Striker.
Hi, I'm Carl Mesham. I played for 4 legal league teams in Hong Kong, and ADW were one of them. Thank you. Or were they? Were they really? I started with ADW about 1995, my last game after 2010 in Manila. So that's more than 15 years. That's longer than I've played for any other team. So, the longest association with any team, Atletico de One-Try. So there you go. Which actually scares me into thinking that I probably put on that shirt more than any other team. Which scares me a lot, because I can't think I've put on that many red shirts in my life. Never again. But what a team ADW was for the social. Who can forget the Friday night piss-ups in Joe Bananas? Well, I can, because I got so pissed every time. 10 pints and 2 Long Island iced teas will do that to anyone. Plus the after drinks on a Saturday. Excellent, excellent. And all the unforgettable or forgettable stories in Manila. So yes, ADW. Here we go, here we go, here we go. ADW is the best, we all know. We're the team number one, and we love you, ADW.
You know, Carl, I think we'll have to describe him as a legend.
I think so, but I think Carl was a legend of many clubs, I think.
Yes.
Whatever club he played for, I think he reached legendary status, you know, for his abilities on and off the pitch, Mike.
Well, he played for 4 clubs, but he played for ADW the longest. He always had time for us because he thought we were a good social team.
Yeah. And we've had many, many, many adventures with Carl over the years.
Yeah. Carl played in goal, of course, as well, in Manila quite a lot, and up front. And I think he was one of the best strikers we've had. Of course, one of his main claims to fame was his relationship with Dave the Tranny.
Dave. Dave's a legend.
Dave's a legend. And elsewhere on this documentary, Dave gives an exclusive interview.
Really?
Upon his relationship with Carl. I don't think I'll say any more. I don't want to ruin it.
All right, let's see. I'm looking forward to that.
Andy Mitchell, forward.
Hi, this is Andy Mitchell. I played for ADW once back in December 1994, about a week after I first arrived in Hong Kong. I remember we played against a South China vets team, and when we turned up, a bunch of guys, old guys, smoking cigarettes. Some had old school plimsolls, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park. And as it turned out, it was for them. I think they won 2-0 in the end, but they must have had about 80% of the possession. Anyway, after the match, I enjoyed it, and I remember going up to Mark Hope, who was in charge on the day, and saying, can I join ADW? And he basically said, sorry, the boat is full. So I ended up playing for a team against ADW a number of occasions, with, I think, mixed results, has to be said.
Well, I'm sorry we missed you, Andy, but I always felt I had you in my pocket when we played Legal Aid, although you did escape once or twice. Alex Key, striker.
Oh, fuck, go on, babe. Oh, go on then. No, just kidding. So Alex here, Alex Key from Derbyshire. Played for ADW in the sort of mid-2000s, I think. It's all a bit hazy. And I started ADW again in about 4 years ago, right? So we're in the Yao Yi now, in Division 3, and we've got a bunch of kind of old Yao Yi vets in there. Not sure how many of them played for ADW. Andy Archer's there, who was obviously our nemesis for Legal Head. One of my best memories for ADW, of course, all the tours were fantastic, and all the filth that went on and surrounded those tours, which have traumatized me. But I have been seeking counselling for it, and it's getting better. But one of my best memories is we were playing down at the football club. It was absolutely chucking it down. And we were playing somebody, I think it was in the final of something, or the semi-final. And I scored an overhead kick. I think Mesh was in goal. And it sounds great, but it wasn't really that great. I think it just sort of skidded off and went in. And then Mike Pearce leaving do was another great memory. And I guess that's about it, really. So it was nice to have been part of a little bit of football in history, and that's connected so many people around the world. And so long may it continue. All right, I've got my ADW top on. You can see there, right? Okay. All right, you can come back now and
Alex started for the team, I think, just before we left. I think he played for a couple of years. But mostly he's played in Manila for the last 15 years or so. He's played nearly every year. He's a good forward. He's a bit like Niall Quinn. He gets the ball, he holds it. But what he has done is that he's kept ADW going, and we're now in the Yao Yi League Division 3. So this is our 4th decade, I think, of playing in Hong Kong. So that's very good for him.
The man in the middle, the Bear, centre back.
The Bear was, I can use a lot of words here, tremendous, unbelievable, remarkable, splendid. He was fantastic. He came to Manila once with us, and I do remember, and I don't know how this happened. It was the first night, Friday night. We'd been there for about an hour. And the Bear started running up the street, and about 50 girls were following him, shouting, "Bear, Bear, Bear!" I don't know how he did that.
CJ Toledo.
So one of the legends of our Manila tours was CJ Toledo. How do you remember CJ?
Well, CJ, to me, was a legend. CJ didn't play for ADW, but I do remember CJ had fantastic ball control. The things that CJ could do with the ball was just astounding. CJ ended up in Sweden, I believe. And I do have a tape of CJ with a couple of the players, actually, which I'll try and dig out and put a bit on the video.
Yeah. Which, I kind of remember that game.
Well, it was more than just a friendship, I think, CJ and ADW. More than just a friendship, but good luck to CJ.
Yeah. I wonder what CJ's doing right now.
And have a good guess.
Lloyd Gallen, goalkeeper.
Hi, this is Lloyd. I used to play for Atletico de Wanchai, 92 to 95. Not sure on the years, it's a bit of a blur. Most memorable moments would be probably kicking Bryn in the balls when I was the goalkeeper. I remember shouting "keepers," but I don't think he heard me, and I remember him lying on the floor with his legs shaking like a shitting dog.
I remember Lloyd Gallen. Wasn't he Joe Bananas and then Charlie Luciano's, was he?
Yes, he was. He was very solid. He caught the ball and always felt that we were unlikely to let a goal in when Lloyd was playing.
Joe Lung, far left, winger.
The other Lung brother, Joseph. Can you remember Joe?
Oh, yeah, Joe, the nice one.
Well, I asked Patrick to get Joe, but he hasn't done it. And Joe blowed hot and cold, I remember. Very ineffective sometimes, but when he was on his game, he was a bit special, the boy.
I remember him being quite fearless. And like you said, he was quite speedy. And when he was on his game, he was really good.
Yeah.
Which wasn't very often but...
No.
Richard Thompson, centre back.
You remember Richard, yeah?
Yeah, Tomo.
He wasn't blessed with pace, but again, he was very good in the air, good passer of the ball, and again, solid. I'd call him formidable.
Formidable. Yeah, he was formidable at the time, actually. It was quite hard, Tomo, when he wanted to be.
Hard to get past.
Paul Lewis, midfield.
Hello, my name's Paul Lewis, and I played for ADW, I think, between 2006 and 2012. I'm not 100% certain, but it was around about that time. My favourite memory has to be Manila, the last seven-a-side international competition where we actually won some silverware, and it turned out, as we were in the bar afterwards talking about it, that it's the first time ADW had won silverware in, I think It was 22 years. So, what I want to do is raise a glass to all the players of ADW, past and present, and some who have left us, and say all the best. Good luck.
So another Mackham, Mike.
Yeah, Paul's one of the three, at least. Mackham's in the team. A very good player. My memories of him are in Manila, and he's done very well for us there. He's solid. He's got a bit of speed. He's got a good shot in him. And I say he's a Sunderland fan, so really, you can't get much better than that.
Philip Swainston, defender.
Right, incident on the pitch. It has to be the one-shy earthquake match. Peter Heston sent off after 15 minutes for 3, possibly 4 exocet missile challenges, which left crumpled heaps of legal aid player all over the pitch. Probably showed his willy as well to the referee, which will have contributed to his marching orders. But of course, the match was memorable with Mike's the scissor overhead bicycle kick when he leapt like a salmon. I should qualify that, of course, by saying that it was a salmon that had just been eaten by an elephant. Gravity kicked in and smack, he hit the ground. We sent Ian Mellors off to get an ambulance, and somehow he managed to mix that up and came back with 10 Big Macs. But he did, to his credit, give one of those to Mike, and because of the usual dirty fouling by legal aid, ambulances were already on their way. I can't remember who did get injured before Mike, but in any case, we were able to get him into an ambulance and off to hospital, and thankfully for Hong Kong as well, we don't have an Andreas fault, so there wasn't any devastating consequences from that incident.
I wouldn't say he was the best player for the team, but he had heart, I think. You think?
Yeah, and also he was like an ADW player through and through, you know.
Well, I think he enjoyed Manila a lot.
He did.
Phil had a nickname, didn't he?
Phil. Yeah. And,
can you remember what that was?
Yeah, I used to draw all the cartoons, didn't I? Phil the Leper.
Yeah, he was called the Leper. Well, I remember in Manila when he was through one goal one day and his leg fell off.
I think you're blurring the cartoon, in real life there. I remember in the cartoon he had to take a penalty, and he kicked it, and his leg went one way and the ball went the other, and the goalkeeper saved the leg.
Actually, I thought that was real life. Excellent.
No, bits used to fall off him, but not whole limbs or anything.
Oh, bless him, you know, because I remember the squad all got together and they bought him a bell. And for a leper, he was actually not a bad player.
I can't really think of any other footballing lepers that we can compare him to, Mike. But yeah, I suppose he set the bar for lepers.
A very low bar.
Midland, midfield.
Midland here. My favourite recollection of ADW had to be playing in the opening fixture. First time we'd ever actually got a team on a pitch. The opposition trotted out in their matching sky blue kit. They warmed up by lobbing the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, trapping it stone dead. ADW's first team, well, might be a bit of an exaggeration to say that we trotted out. Motley array of kit. One or two people even had football boots. The one thing we didn't have was a goalkeeper. Fortunately enough, 2 minutes before kick-off, a guy walked up out the blue, said, "I hear you're short of a goalkeeper." I think it was Jerome, but Mike and Ian will correct me if I got that wrong. Anyway, we were lucky. He played an absolute blinder, and we beat the buggers 2-1, if I remember rightly. Long time ago, but very, very happy day.
He was one of our early players, wasn't he?
Oh, very, very early, I think. You know, they were the days, they were, to some extent, sort of our glory days, Mike, weren't they? You know?
Yeah. Well, I certainly do remember playing with Midlands, and actually, rather surprisingly, he was not a bad player.
Yeah, I think he's one of these people who are all-round good sportsmen. He's probably quite good at all sports. He attempts his hand at, I think.
Paul Lang, again.
What do they say about football? It's a game for gentlemen played by rogues. Now, I would say that ADW and the Legal League was completely the opposite of that, in that it was a game for gentlemen played by gentlemen, except perhaps Bryn Hughes is my only exception. I remember playing in a game, I'm shepherding the ball back from the halfway line towards our goal. I'm getting nearer the 18-yard box. It's all under control. When next second I'm absolutely upended. I'm lying flat on my back. My shin pad has popped out. It's actually broken. My sock is ripped round the ankle. I can already feel my ankle swelling. There's blood coming through. I'm looking at the ref. Free kick. Someone's about to be sent off. When I actually realise that the person who tackled me was Bryn Hughes. On asking him why, he said, "I panicked. My job is to clear the ball. So I cleared the ball. You got in the way. Never mind."
Mark Vujrud, midfield.
Most of the memory of the game is lost, but I do seem to recall that it was a game where we had a new kit, which was red and white stripes, of course, and it was the first time we would wear them. It was also a game where I brought my friend along who was keen to play. So the game is about to start, and Nick Oates pulls us in for a team talk and is looking for my friend to ask which position he plays. We look around, as he is nowhere to be found, but over in the middle of the pitch, he is lying face down. I run over and ask him what the problem is, and he said he did something to his leg, which is fair enough. Anyway, the game starts and I don't see him, so I text him after the game and he tells me he's in hospital as he broke his leg in 2 places. But what was so memorable about that was that Nick ended up with the shirts after the game and left them in the cab. So in the end, my friend was the only person to have the brand new kit but to have never played for ADW.
Jim Dyer, goalkeeper. Now, Jim is regarded by many, including me, as being the best ADW goalkeeper of all time. He played in the championship teams and he went to Cambodia with us in '96. Great goalkeeper and a great lad. Ronan Gardiner, midfield.
Hey guys, greetings from New York City. My name is Ronan. For those of you who don't know me or don't recognize me because I'm so much older now, I played for ADW in the 90s, probably from about 94 through to about 98. It's all a little vague. It was vague at the time. They were some of the best memories I have ever had of playing with any football team anywhere in the world, on or off the field. Mike asked me to share, I guess, my favorite specific memories, which is kind of tough because there are so many amazing ones, but certainly up there at the very top, the tours, Manila, unbelievable, Cambodia, unfrickin' believable. In fact, Cambodia brings up a whole bunch of memories. We watched England beat Scotland in the European Championships, that incredible Paul Gascoigne goal. John Reid and Skip refused to speak to any of us for the rest of the night and most of the next day. And it might have actually been on the next day that John Reid broke his shoulder playing in the tournament, ended up in hospital for, I don't know, at least 2 days in a country that didn't own an x-ray machine. That memory was up there. Playing football almost every Saturday inside a race course in the middle of Happy Valley, Hong Kong. Unbelievable. And then this is going to sound really egotistical, but Mike said to put this in. I did once score the winning goal against Bakers to decide the league championship, which inspired a pitch invasion led by Mike and Ian, who proceeded to catch me and then jump on top of me, which was a combined weight of probably 30 stone, and I still have back problems to this day. Where do I end this? Okay, so my wife always takes the piss out of me for never throwing anything away. But if I did throw anything away, I obviously wouldn't still have this shirt that I wore in the mid-90s. I wouldn't have this league title winning medal from 1995. I wouldn't have this league title winning medal from 1997. I wouldn't have this, whatever this is. I wouldn't have this remembrance of Cambodia in 1995. And I wouldn't have the single most valuable thing that any ADW player possessed in Hong Kong in the mid-90s, a membership card to Joe Bananas. For those of you who don't know, this was gold dust in Hong Kong in the mid-90s. This meant you could walk past the 300-person line on a Saturday night thinking you were a baller simply because you played for Atletico de Wan Chai.
Now, I have a soft spot for Ronan because even when he was with us, and also since he's left us, he's loved ADW. He still does. You watch his video, his enthusiasm comes shining through. And it nearly makes me cry watching the video. And I think you'll all enjoy watching it.
He was, well, what can we say? Legend.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. He was an amazing player when he joined us.
I know you can't remember the goal he scored against Bakers when we won the league. But I've just been chatting with Nick Oates about it. He remembers it. And that was an amazing afternoon. Me and you ran on the pitch and we jumped on him. He said he nearly died with 300 pounds on top of him, but I think it was quite 300 pounds at that time.
Was that between both of us?
Yeah, both of us. And he left in '98, and I asked Hansen, did you ever play with Ronan? And Hansen said, well, maybe one game. And I think that's a real shame, because I think having both of them in field would have been great.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ange was our first lady player. This is what Nick Park said about her.
I think you might remember Ange. She was a German girl, and I met her through the Area League website and thought she was a fella. And she came along and she joined in. She was okay. I think one of the good things, we managed to raffle off her sports bra at the end of the season, so that was quite amusing.
Here are some photographs of our pre-1997 squad. What wonderful players they were.
hardly walk, could hardly breathe, I could hardly talk. The next thing I know, but I don't know how, a nurse was patting my feverish brow. You're a lucky man, son, the doctor said. 5 more minutes and you would have been dead. Heroin, 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 it's a heroin rush, baby. Heroin, baby. Heroin rush, baby. Heroin rush. Baby, baby, come on, give it to me. I want it now, can't you see? Give it me, please. Give it me now. Do it, baby.